Hello, good evening. This is by special request. One of my dear friends requested of me if I could do this video on labels. You know how we put labels on each other, and this is a very interesting topic, as they all are to me, so you'll find that I always say this is very interesting, because personally I find the human experience, life, very interesting. I'm learning to just be more spontaneous, to truly speak what's coming through me at the time, what inspires me. I mean, it is, the name of my business is Raise Yourself, from desperation to inspiration. So I'm following my inspiration as much as I possibly am aware of. Today is August 13th, Monday, 2012. It's approximately 9:30 p.m. Okay. And went to the gym today. Had a decent, well, let me put it like this. Sometimes we're in a space where, let me rephrase the whole thing. I put out in the universe, in life, that I am present. Before I go to the gym or before I do anything, I always prepave the way. I ask for guidance. I ask to be present, fully present in the now while it's happening, instead of in the past or in the future and pushing, what I call pushing time. I'm not pushing time. I'm in it. I'm creating time. And I often I've learned to rather look at life in a sense that all I have is right now. So I'm learning to cherish my moments. It's after 9 p.m. Monday, August 13th. Had a conversation with one of my beautiful friends earlier today, and I asked her, I said, well, she told me she had watched one of my videos, and I asked, is there any topic that you'd like covered? And like I said, she'd like me to cover labels. So I'm going to cover labels. And, first let me finish my thought about being in the now and not pushing time. It's important, and I'll do a video on time pushers. Not pushing time, so I'm like I am here now. I'm not concerned about tomorrow. I'm right here now in my home office, being with you. This fly is just swinging around, slapping me in the head with his wing. And it's okay. It's really okay. It's all right. I'll deal with him later. I do have a fly swatter. Anyway, so here you go, my friend. You know who you are. Yet, this is for anyone who's watching. You'll understand what I'm talking about. So, labels. Why do we need labels? One, to identify, to understand, to comprehend within our minds, to put in a place, right? A place, the place, its place. But what happens when you put a label on something? It becomes limited in its beingness. It becomes limiting in its thinking. It can become stagnated. The powerful thing about labels is if you decide, well, I am this, and this has a description of A, B, C, D, and E, at least you know how to define yourself and who you are to be within that label. However, if you'd like to be more expansive in your beingness, in your life, then would a label suffice? I always ask questions. I'm a Socratic thinker, okay? But would that label limit you? Better yet, how can you create your own labeling per se? Meaning create yourself to be who you choose to be. To take some of this, some of that, some of this, some of that. Why is it that in this society we think, for example, to be a woman, we must look a certain way, we must act a certain way, we must dress a certain way, we must feel a certain way, be a certain way, have a certain way. When in actuality, when you look around at women, we come in all shapes and sizes and mannerisms, and the way we look so different. So who's to define what a real woman is, or an unreal woman is, or even in sexuality? If your sexuality is to love women, that then you're not per se a woman. Now you're a dyke, or you're a bisexual, or you're a transsexual, or you know what I mean. I'm just going off. And I know a transsexual is a man who is now a woman, but that's not my point here. My point is, if you're a woman, regardless of your sexual preferences, you can still be a woman. If you are choosing to be someone who, say, is a Christian or Muslim or whatever, there are rules that you are to follow that says if you don't fully follow these, then you're not a real Christian or a Muslim. Let's stick with Christian. Then you're not a real Christian. Now the interesting piece about that is, but aren't we always becoming? Aren't we always growing? Which means we are always in transit. We're transitory. We're constantly transforming. We're constantly changing. So how can you be anything concrete? You're actually being a Christian because you're acting like, you're living it, you're experiencing it. So in your beingness of a woman, you're being a woman, you're experiencing that, but how you experience it is totally up to you. If you try to manipulate yourself to be like that Christian or that woman, that's where the challenge comes in. And why is it a challenge? Because each of us has a way of fully expressing ourselves. I'll take fully out. We have a way of expressing ourselves that's unique to us. Right? My being a woman may be very feminine and different mannerisms and movements. Like my dad, he says, what's all of this? You know, he jokes with me and he's like, oh, you're holding your weight, because I'll do this and hold my waist like that sometimes when we're talking, and he'll laugh about it. And he's like, women are so amazing, you all just crack me up. Right? But it's who we are and it's how we're being. However, not all women do this and you know, talk a certain way or like to wear heels and makeup or whatever. Does it make her less than a woman? She just has a different way of expressing herself. Now, let's get back on the topic of sexuality. Now, I'm going to leave religion out of it, totally out of it. We're just going to talk. Sexuality is a preference of how you desire to experience sex. Do you like to experience it with a man, or do you like to experience it with a woman? Isn't that simple? To me, it's that simple. I mean, I'm quite sure there's more to it, but since we're talking about this topic, isn't that it? That it's just an expression of how you like to experience your sexual being? Does it mean that you now have to define yourself as a guy because you're a woman and you like to experience a woman? Can you still be a woman and experience a woman and still act like your definition of a woman? And these are just questions, because I'll be the first one to tell you, I do not have all of the answers. I do not proclaim to, but I do give in to the fact that I'm a thinker. I'm a critical thinker. I like asking questions for, to think about, to put questions out there. Yes, I have my opinions, my perceptions, but I will never say that, and that's the truth. Because I don't know what the truth is. The only thing I can say to you is what's true for me in my life. So what I'm posing to you is what's true for you in your life. What label are you deciding upon putting on yourself? Forget what everyone else says. Throw them out. That's the peanut gallery. They're going to say you should, you should, you should. They'll should all over you. And that's not what you need. What you need, and I'll put the word need in, is, you know why I put the word need in? Because what you need is to listen to your inner self. That's where the authority lies. Guess what? That authority is connected to a higher source. We all have that higher authority that we're connected with. What I'm doing now is I'm being used as a vessel of information, of knowledge, of wisdom. And guess what? That information, knowledge, and wisdom is flowing through me, but there are filters within me too that may misconstrue and perceive in a certain way. And then there's a lot that I may get right. And when I say right, right meaning right for me and what feels right within my soul. I use my intuition, my discernment to express this to the world. You know why I do this? I do this because I love to do this. I love sharing knowledge, wisdom, and information. And whoever picks it up, they pick it up. But that is what I've chosen my purpose to be. Now, if someone wants to label that and say she's this, she's that, or she should do it this way or that way, or maybe her background should be different, or she should dress this way, or maybe she shouldn't say that, and maybe yada, yada. I do not care. I don't care about the labels. And what I'm saying to you, my dear friend, is leave the labels out of it. Because you know what will happen, and which is happening as we discussed? Because of the labels and how people think you should show up in your life, you're confused. You're confused. Do not allow anyone, I'm going to read a poem that I've written. Hold it, stay right in there. This is life happening. Okay, so this is, okay, center. This is a poem I wrote last year, May of 2011, titled My Inner Throne. And I dedicate this to you, to the women, or anyone who's watching this, men too, children, the whole bit. But because my niche, my main audience is women, I dedicate this to you to always stay in your power. Do not surrender who you are. Do not surrender your boundaries, your standards, who you need to be in your life for yourself. Love yourself first. Love yourself unconditionally. And never leave your inner throne. And after I read it, I'll elaborate. And please excuse my dog Freedom. He's on duty, and I will ensure that I speak loud enough because I can't stop him from working. He's doing his job. My inner throne, oh freedom's delight, invite it day or night. Mine is this life. Society spoke, and they insisted on keeping my mind eternally twisted. Silly of me, at times I listened. Words orchestrated to their tune, another creator's potential doom. Bloodlines, a case of mistaken identity. But no one can be me but me. They are lurking at the temple of my inner throne, awaiting for me to unconsciously roam. Journeys extenuated by ideas of necessity, all designed to create a better me. Conjuring words to inspire, but I am deliberate to aspire. Journeys carry a barrage of contrast, hopeful that our dreams will last. The law of attraction, the greatest teacher of all, a nonchalant reaction to cries for relief. Experience has not a knowing of our pleas. No compassion for one's agonies. It's uninvolved and birthed in silence, a cause for creation of whence. Truth has only one face, born into perfection's grace. Should I dare a brighter beginning, a brighter night, saved from progression, and be slight? Grateful instead, for my vision was blind to me, and a child's mind doesn't see what there is to see. A mind of wisdom was my gain, a wish not for a different strain, deprivation of gifting myself of the perfect. To them, my inner throne poses a threat. Now I've gotten a copyright on that last year, May 2011, so I don't want to see it circulating anywhere, or I'm coming after you. Anyway, what this means is, all right, freedom, excuse me. See, he has no regard for me. Anyway, so the thing is, your inner throne, the world, society will attempt to pull you away from who you truly are because they've decided on who you should be. Who you should be as a woman, a black woman, white woman, Chinese woman, whatever, Asian, whatever you are. But it's up to you to decide, this is my inner throne. This is my gift to me in this life. That I am focusing on who I need to be for myself. It has nothing to do with what they're wanting, but it takes time, experience, wisdom to recognize that. As an example, my dog is barking. I'm ignoring him because I'm fulfilling my purpose, and this is how you must be in life. There will always be external noise, distractions, but when you live on purpose, you don't hear anything. It's silent. It's silent on the outside because you're not listening. See how Source, God, whatever you want to call it, the universe brings into a situation that which you need and that you're asking for within that moment. Perfect example of how life is. There will always be distractions. There will always be people telling you who you are, what you shouldn't do, what you shouldn't wear, how you shouldn't look, and judging you based on how you do look. You have to just block it out. Block it out. You can't worry about it, because if I were worried about it, I would be so, oh, am I speaking right? Am I marketing this right? Am I all these standards and check this and check that? No. The thing is, I have a gift. You have a gift. I am showing up in my life in my gift right now because I am inspired. I am not living from desperation. And I ask you, do not live from a place of desperation where you're so worried about the outside world and what they think and how you look and what's going on. Yeah, we want to look presentable. I'm not talking about that. But I'm talking about the internal person, my inner throne, right? Where I have, oh, freedom's delight. Let me break it down for you. Invited day or night. Mine is this life. Mine is this life. You have to own your life. It is yours. And I get so passionate about it because if you only knew the time that you're wasting worrying about other people, you could be enjoying your life, living your life, laughing your life, loving your life. Don't spend your precious time, day or night, think about it, spending precious time concerned about what other people are saying about you, what they're thinking about you. Let them, if they want to spend their time doing that, let them spend their time. Do not spend yours in that way. So I go on. Society spoke, and they insisted on keeping my mind eternally twisted. See, because when your mind is eternally twisted, that means someone has their kung fu grip on your way of thinking and telling you who you need to be eternally. Turn the volume down. As a matter of fact, turn it off and go within. Find that soul of your own that deserves your energy, your attention. So, silly of me, at times I listened, just like you listened at times. You know why? Because when you're a child, you're looking for direction, you're very influential, impressionable rather, and you don't know better. But as you grow up and mature and experience life, you gain that wisdom, that knowledge. And I will be 50 in January of 2013. I'm excited about it. But my point is this. Mother has lived, okay? Mother, me, I have learned, I have paid attention, I observed my life. I am living my life the way I choose to live it, and I am breaking the chains. And that's what I ask you to do. Break the chains that other people have put on your mind, on your heart, on your soul. Break those chains and be who you choose to be. Define yourself, create yourself, recreate yourself, transform. You don't have to be like the phoenix rising from the ashes. You can be what's called a chimera. A chimera actually transforms, just changes into something else. And it's less painful because you go through this gradual transformation as opposed to the phoenix rising, where you're rising from being consumed by the fire. Stay with me. By being consumed by the fire which burns you, and in some cases people suffer because they can't take all of that fiery change. But decide, who am I choosing to be from this day going forward, and step by step. This is what you do. You transition, you transform right in front of the society's eyes. And they do not matter. But right there, you transform. See, some people are afraid to change because then other people look at them and say, oh, you're changing. And they're afraid that they may lose certain relationships. But guess what? Some of those relationships you may need to lose anyway. Hello? So, words orchestrated to their tune. Do you get that? Words to your song, orchestrated to their tune. So you're dancing in your life. Your choreography is based on what they are telling you you should be. Let it go. Let it go. Free yourself. Another creator's potential doom, because they're creators too. So you're allowing a creator, which you are, a creator, to come into your life and create your life a potential doom, because it's not of your creation. You have no true connection to it. And anything, you have no true connection to will die because you're not giving it life. You're not giving it energy. Think about it. Bloodline's a case of mistaken identity. You're not connected to that bloodline, metaphorically speaking. It's mistaken identity. You have no connection to that because you are not that creator. See, but no one can be me but me. No one can be you but you. No one can be you but you. So don't compare. I don't compare myself to another woman. Look, this is it. This is it. If you want long hair, this is not it. If you want bigger boobs, or breasts, this is not it. If you want me to be a different race, a different color, I'm sorry. This is how Georgette comes. Love me or overlook me. Love me or overlook me, because over there is what you may desire. But this is how I come. Period. And, right? They are lurking at the temple of my inner throne. This is my temple. They're lurking at the temple, metaphorically speaking, of my inner throne. This is mine. You must own your inner throne. In other words, you must own your power. You must own your beingness. You must own your decisions, your choices, your alignment, your clarity. You must own your life, your being, the reason why you're here. Own it. Because they are awaiting for me to unconsciously roam. As soon as you become unconscious about who you're being, trust that someone will attempt to sit on your throne. And what that means metaphorically is, if they're sitting at your throne, who's directing your steps? Who's owning your power? Who's controlling you? Thoughts are very powerful, and people often inflict what they desire for you to be, do, and have. You own that. Journeys extenuated by ideas of necessity. Ideas of necessity. Is it truly necessary? This journey is truly necessary, but it's yours, and it's all designed to create a better me. Because as we live, as we fully express ourselves, guess what happens? We expand, we become more, we become more conscious, more wisdom filled. Do you get that? More robust in who we are. I am a woman. I'm not a little girl. I am a woman. A woman. Are you a woman or are you a little girl? There is a difference. If you've not stepped into womanhood, and not saying that's where you should be, because you may be a teenager and you've not stepped into it. But what I'm saying is, if you've not stepped into it as yet and you are of that age, take a good look at yourself and ask yourself, am I owning my life? Am I owning my womanhood? Or am I running around asking for people to define me? That's your job. Conjuring words to inspire. Conjuring words to inspire. But I am deliberate to aspire. Conjuring words to inspire. But I am deliberate to aspire, to go higher. As my website is, Raise Yourself from Desperation to Inspiration. Always look to find the words that will inspire you, to find the people who will inspire you, to find the situations that will inspire you. And be deliberate in your aspirations, because in each instance you want to go higher and higher and higher in your consciousness, in your awareness, in your wisdom. You want the more of it, the abundance of it, of life, whatever that looks like for you. Own it. Journeys carry a barrage of contrast. Contrast is necessary for this life, for this existence. So everything that you're experiencing and that I'm experiencing, we need the contrast. We need the variety in order to determine that which we want and that which we don't want. And then once we make that decision, we discard that which we don't want. But the only way we're going to know what we don't want is through the experience of it. So experience it. Doesn't mean you have to stay in it. You get the message, you get the lesson, and you keep it moving. But you take that with you. Right? Hopeful that our dream will last. We're obedient. Okay, hopeful that our dream will last because of the contrast. We're hoping that our dreams will last, that they will carry us on. We're obedient to its natural laws, the laws of attraction, the greatest teacher of them all. The law of attraction will teach you. Cause and effect will teach you. You can say, that's not what I expected or I intended, but guess what? Your energy speaks louder than your words. Words do have power, but the energy behind it is what wields the true power. So think about it. If you're feeling like you want to say yes in your heart and you say no, the yes wins. Okay? Think about that. A nonchalant reaction for cries for relief. But experience has not a knowing of our pleas. So in other words, you may be nonchalant, right? Well, let me rephrase that. A nonchalant reaction to cries for relief. Experience has not a knowing of our pleas. Experience has no emotion. Experience, think of experience as this entity. It's just happening. It has no reaction. It has no emotion. So it has not a knowing of our pleas to say, oh wow, okay, she's going through me through this experience. I am showing up as this experience, and poor thing, maybe I should stop. But cause and effect says, you caused it, these are the effects that you will experience. No compassion for one's agonies. None. Because it's just acting out, cause and effect. There's no connection. There's no holding on to you and feeling sorry for you. Cause and effect is a law, and it will teach you because the law of attraction is the greatest teacher of them all. Because it's uninvolved and birthed in silence. In metaphysics, there's the cause and effect. It is birthed in silence. You don't hear it. You created the thought, right? The action occurs because it's a natural occurrence within that law. So it's birthed. It comes into existence in silence. But yet, you, its creator, will feel its effects, whether they're so-called good or so-called bad. The perception comes from you. You create your reality. The perception comes from you. You can define it as good or bad or indifferent. It's totally up to you. You own your power. You define it in the best absolute way that will empower you. So, it's uninvolved and birthed in silence. A cause for creation of whence? Creation, which you create. You created it a while ago. And you know how they say what comes around goes around, or, whatever you did will follow you? Because it does. Because cause has to have an effect. And truth has only one face, born into perfection's grace. Truth comes through in its perfect way. Its perfect way. Just the way it's meant to be. That one face. Perfection's grace. It's going to be what it be. As they say, it is what it is. And that's exactly what truth and perfection is. It is what it is. That cause and effect, whatever it comes to be, it is. So then I say, in closing, should I dare a brighter beginning, a brighter night, saved from progression and be slight? And what that means is, Should I have asked for something better? A brighter day, a brighter night? Meaning, my beginning may have seemed hard to me, or a choice may have seemed hard, and the effects may have seemed hard, and the dark night of the soul may have occurred. So am I asking now for a brighter night, and saved from progression and be slight, saved from the wisdom, the understanding, the life lesson, the growth, the awareness, the expansion, saved from that? No, 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 no. I want to learn as much as I can. Now, I'll say this. You can decide upon which path you'd like to take, and as you expand, you'll begin to understand more and more which choices or which choice will grant you the better effect, the better result. You'll be able to discern, to use your intuition, your logic, your critical thinking to tell you, well, if I do this, that's going to happen, so I'm not going to do that. But you get better and better at that in time and experience. So grateful instead, for my vision was blind to me. A child's mind doesn't see what there is to see. So be grateful that a lot of the choices that you've made over the years, or even yesterday, be grateful that now you're maturing, you're growing, you're expanding, that you know better. But pay attention. Pay attention. Don't live haphazardly and think, well, I did this, and why is that happening? Because, see, if you say that, why do bad things always happen to me? Why do I make such bad choices? That means you're not aware. You're sleepwalking. Wake up. Wake up and think before you act. If I do this, what could the probable future be as a result of that choice? Think about it. And once the result occurs, what just happened? Use your thought process, your logical thinking, your critical thinking. What just happened? Why did that happen? How did I get here? What was it that I did? What lesson is there for me to learn here? How can I do better next time? What is it that I'm really asking for? How did I attract that? What is it about me, my energy, my choices that's causing me to be this way? A lot to think about. A mind of wisdom was my gain. A wish not for a different strain, because I gained that wisdom. So why would I wish for something different, a different strain of a result? I want the wisdom. Anytime I experience anything, it can be very small, I ask myself, what caused me to do that, and what did I learn from it? I put it in my memory and on paper too. And I elaborate on it. I think about it. I marinate on it, because I love when I have that moment of, wow, I just got something out of my life, out of my existence. You have to be hungry for life. You have to crave it. You have to want it. You have to desire the beauty of it. This is your life. This is it, ladies. Or men, children, whoever's looking. This is it. That's why I'm so passionate about what I do, and that's why I've moved and continue to move away from desperate thinking into inspired thinking, and away from desperate living into inspired living. Have I gotten it all done? Hell no. And I'll never get it done, because we're constantly expanding. But one thing I can tell you is that I'll make fewer and fewer and fewer choices that take me to places that I don't want to be, because now it's becoming clearer to me. See, gaining that alignment, that 0 point of neither going too far to the left or too far to the right, but balancing, aligning with your true self, with your higher self, with your purpose, with your reason for being, with your truth. Again, leave the world out of it. Yeah, you're going to learn things through your experiences, through contrast and all that. But take what you need, what you want, what you desire, and recreate yourself. Transform yourself. And finally, deprivation of gifting thyself of the perfect? To them, my inner throne poses a threat. I'm not depriving myself of the perfect. And the perfect means that which it was meant to be, that which it is. I'm not depriving myself of those lessons that I'm to learn, that I've attracted to myself for whatever reason. So now, in true conclusion, labels, create yourself. The way you create yourself, know who you are by paying attention, observing everything about you. All the energies about you, why you do what you do. You can write it down, record it, however you choose to do it. Have a conversation with someone about it. Just take it in. You deserve to spend the time on yourself. I do this every day, all day. No matter what I'm doing, where I am observing who I am because I am worth it. Why should I pay attention to you all the time? What is that going to do for me? That means I'm not sitting at my inner throne. I am the queen. How about this? I am the empress of my throne. No one, and I don't care if someone says that's arrogant, conceited, I could care less, because you know why? I call it confidence, security, unconditional love that I have for myself, that I will never allow anyone to sit at my inner throne. No one but me. When I was younger and I had a child's mind and didn't know better, yeah, many people sat there and chilled out, tore its seat up and put their feet up in it, and tore it up and threw it to the dogs, whatever. Because I wasn't respecting the inner throne. You have to respect yourself. You have to love yourself. You have to know that you're worthy. Don't give your body away. Don't give your mind away. Make sure you check all of that, all of it at the door. You find out why people want to be in your space. You make sure you set your boundaries, your standards. You don't let people talk to you any kind of way. You stay in your power. All right, so again, in conclusion, labels, create yourself. If you want to label it, label it. If you want to be labelless, be labelless. But be whoever you choose to be. Until we meet again, this is Georgette Elizabeth Correa, coming to you from Raise Yourself, from desperation to inspiration. Life empowerment coaching for women. I love my women. I love my women because I'm a woman. I'm a woman. All women. Remember that. And when I say all women, that's a whole different subject. I'm not talking about sexuality. What I'm talking about is just in my beingness. Until we meet again, my website is raiseyourselfcoaching.com. One word, one string, raiseyourselfcoaching.com. I have a book coming out later this year, and I do one-on-one coaching, and I do group coaching. So until we meet again, peace be unto you.